Hello there, beautiful souls, beautiful humans. Welcome to the spring equinox. Woo, woo, woo. For us here in the Northern Hemisphere, it is at least the spring equinox. In the Southern Hemisphere, it is the autumn equinox. Either way, we are in this place of extreme balance between light and dark, and it's a phenomenal opportunity for all of us to harness. So I'm going to just take you through a short little energy update around this equinox and how to make the most of these energies. Also, preparation for the full moon lunar eclipse that's coming up, and this is a lunar eclipse in Libra. And then what's going on with this eclipse axis that we're going through at the moment, because we are having the most phenomenal opportunity to upgrade our own inner masculine and feminine so we can truly resonate with sacred union, with the divine human aspects of living heaven on earth, co-creating peace on earth. Peace on earth rather than peace on earth. So for those of you who are new to me, I am Rosanna Rozyglow Hannes. I'm here as a psychic soul coach. I'm the founder of the Star Peace Movement. I'm on a mission to make peace popular because you know what? People don't really search for peace. People don't really believe peace is possible. I even believe that people are actually secretly scared of peace. They're reluctant to have it. So you will be seeing more and more coming out about that as time goes on. And my passion in terms of the work that I do as a coach is really to work with those who are ready to embrace sacred union in their own lives. For me, I've spent years working with reprogramming my subconscious and my conscious mind, and really the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton is huge, an underlying foundation of all that I do. And I work with the trailblazers of this world, those who are ready to co-create the new earth paradigm. Every one of us has a place to play with it. Some of us are energizers, some of us are builders of the new earth, and some of us are the architects of the new earth. And you know what is really important for us to understand is it is through the power of our imagination that we're going to create something new, and that we have to use our imagination for this, because otherwise we will just keep creating more of the past, and we're here to clear that. So the beautiful thing about these current energies is we're being shown exactly what we are required to do ourselves in terms of our inner harmonization and our inner recalibration and resolution, so that we can show up as that version of us that is here to lead in the new earth, either through, you know, the work that we do, or through the way that we show up in the family, the way that we show up with our purpose, the way that we show up in our energy. And if you haven't yet come across starpeaceconsciousness.com, please go check it out. There's a manifesto there for you that you can read through and sign if you would like to energize it. And there's also some instructions further down the homepage of how you can actually make small changes in the way you show up in the world that will allow you to be a peace troubadour, an energizer of peace rather than of the conflicts that are so rife in this world. Because guess what? The outer world is reflecting our inner world. We are in conflict with our inner shadow and our inner light. And we're all on a journey of actually integrating our shadow to our light. And, you know, when you bring light into a shadow space, you bring light to it, okay? When you bring a shadow into a light space, it doesn't have quite the same impact. It's not going to make the whole space dark, right? So this is the power of the light. It's always so much stronger than the darkness. So if you ever doubt that, please take it that this is not the same, okay? The balance is different. The light is definitely way more powerful than the dark. So when you've got dealing with a 50-50 scenario, the light will always trump. Remember that. Okay, so if you're on YouTube, because you'll be catching this later, thank you for subscribing. For those of you who are in the Star Peace Utopia Facebook group, please do say hello. I'd love to know who's here. And if you haven't yet joined the Star Peace Facebook group, please head over and join it, because this is my private community. This is where I put most of my lives. It's where I interact with you in such a way that I can invite you into masterclasses and basically give you a scope on things that I can't do in the bigger public arena. So when you are kind of choosing to step into being the frequency of peace, your next step, if you want to be a part of my community, is to definitely come into the Manifesting Star Peace Utopia Facebook group if you're on Facebook, and become a part of this growing community, because together we are creating peace on this planet through creating peace in our own lives and reverberating that frequency. And the inspiration comes from Star Peace. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's just blown me away, because I only found this out the other day. I know, and this is part of my mission, that in order for us to truly affect change on a global scale in such a way that something spreads virally as a concept that everyone takes it on, we need 10% of the population to do this, right? Now, this is something that was popularized by Malcolm Gladwell's book, The Tipping Point. And it has been scientifically proven, although more recent research tells us that we only need much, much less than this to affect the field. But I'm on a mission to change the field. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, see around me, this beautiful big portal behind me, right? The field is all around us. The field is what connects us to each other. It's a bit like, you know, the internet, if you like, and how we're all connected through the internet. But the field is the collective consciousness of all that is, right? And we can tap into it. And it is different to the brain. The brain is a computer, and the brain operates with programs that are based on previous programs to create the future. Okay, so if we want to create something different, we have to tap into the field, and this is where the imagination is so important. Now, it's one thing, as I said, to affect it, it's another thing to change it. So in my world, I'm here to help people overcome fear running their lives, all the different ways that fear, lack, struggle, stress, the sense of having to, how can I put it, conform comes to actually living in the fear matrix. And the fear matrix has been decommissioned. However, we still have the fear matrix programming running through us. So even though it's no longer externally the truth, we keep projecting it into the world because it's what we expect to see. So we create evidence to match what we expect. And that's how perception is reality. Now, the fact that I was going to mention to you, that I'll get into this little update, is that I did a little bit of research on Star Wars. I thought, I wonder what percentage of the population has actually come across Star Wars, just out of interest. And I Googled it. You can Google it too. So it turns out that at least 10% of the population, see where I'm going here, has experienced a Star Wars movie, and certainly at least half of the global population is aware of Star Wars and maybe has seen a movie. And I'll have to look again, and I'll put a little post in the Star Peace group afterwards so you can see what I'm talking about. But there it is, right? There it is. We want to tip the balance from Star Wars to Star Peace. If you do, can I please have a thumbs up? Can I have a like? Can I have a subscribe? Can I have a yes? We do. Hashtag Star Peace, because this is what we're here to do, okay? Through us pursuing our own personal joy and happiness, our own personal fulfillment, we shift our vibration. But in order for us to actually attract what we desire, then we need to be in resonance with it. Law of attraction is one thing, law of resonance is another. And the resonance bit is your subconscious, right? It's all the stuff that's in the field, which is 95% more powerful than your conscious creative mind. And if you want to know more about everything I'm talking about here, I would encourage you to check out my interview with Dr. Bruce Lipton, where we went into all the science around the woo-woo of what I'm talking about. So he is an amazing being, an absolute pioneer in the paradigm of creating heaven on earth. And I am a little protege of his, in the sense that I have been for years and years influenced by him. Everything I've ever done actually has had him somehow influence it. So I'm really passionate about sharing these messages with you all. So without further ado, let's actually look at what these equinox energies are all about. And sorry, just a caveat, if you haven't yet seen the video, it's on YouTube, and it should also be pinned in the Star Peace Facebook group. Now, I will check in a minute to see if I've got any comments. I'm planning to keep this fairly short because I want to get out in the sunshine, and I know for all of you it makes a lot of sense to have bite-sized chunks of information to digest. So with this energy of the equinox frequency, we are getting the opportunity to see where we keep recreating patterns of pain that are largely avoidable. Now, yesterday I had an epiphany. I was talking to my coach, and I just said very passionately, you know, suffering is unnecessary. And it really hit her. She was like, oh, suffering is unnecessary. I was like, for the most part, it is. Okay. There are reasons why we act the way we do, and we stay connected more to the fear matrix than the divine matrix. But essentially, most of the suffering we experience is by and large avoidable. Okay. Now, that might feel difficult to accept, especially if you are suffering a lot physically, emotionally, psychologically, even spiritually. And, you know, feel free to reach out. Remember, I run programs on overcoming this kind of suffering. That's what I'm all about. And mainly it's about understanding that a lot of the suffering we experience is down to our perception. Even our genetic expression is actually activated by our expression, our perception, sorry, of the world around us. Is it safe? Is it not safe? Right? Am I in struggle programming? Am I in thriving programming? What's actually going on for me? And the whole point of this current energy is it's disruptive. Okay, we're just about to come into eclipse season. We're currently at equinox point, which is basically the apex of spring or the apex of autumn. I only learned this from my acupuncturist recently, that when we come to equinox, we think it's the start of spring or autumn, but it's actually the midpoint, in the same way that the solstices are apparently the midpoint of winter or summer. So you can almost say there's a little bit of a time lag, isn't there, with us actually coming to accept that things are changing. And we're all thawing out now. Now, I've heard people having lots and lots of tiredness. I'd love to know the symptoms you've been experiencing. You've been tired. Loads of people have not been sleeping. There's that sense of, and you may be experiencing this because this is part of activating your superpowers, if you like, is you're asleep, but you're not asleep. Your eyes are closed. You're aware you're lying in bed, but you're aware of being everywhere. It's almost like your eyes are open, right? So a lot of that. I've been hearing about ear infections, eye infections. It's like all to do with how we perceive the world, the senses, okay? Sense of smell, taste, all these sorts of things also playing a part. And the important thing really is to recognize that wherever you are experiencing any kind of physical symptoms, you're going to be getting the message of where to focus your energy in terms of creating more balance and harmony inside of you. And this is really important because generally, unless you're left-handed, things that happen on the right side of our bodies tend to relate to our masculine and to the programming of energy that goes out. And things that happen on the feminine are to do with being receptive, and it's the left side, okay? So if you are left-handed, it switches around. I really feel that very intuitively, so I'm just sharing that with you. But we take and we give with the right, we receive and we release with the left, okay? So if you've got issues going on your left side, that's going to tell you there's something around the mother line, there's something about your connection with the divine feminine that's being looked at. And if you are feeling things more on the right, then it's going to be the divine masculine and your father line and the issues around the masculine, patriarchy, matriarchy. We are living in a time where we're evolving beyond both those paradigms. We're coming into the new age of Aquarius, the age of wisdom, the fifth density frequency. And this is also about us creating a new paradigm, which is the paradigm of the star child, the uniarchy paradigm. Thank you, Sarah Wordsworth, for that word. So uniarchy, unified, okay? And this is what we're being called to now as we prepare for the full moon, which is on the 25th of March. I'm going to be hosting a full moon event on the 24th of March. There'll be links after I've made this video that I'll put in for you. Now, I always do a full moon event, and the full moons are basically where we craft our reality. We reverse engineer. We go into the future that we want to create. We use our imagination to visualize it as we want it to be, and then we clear up resistance for it, all right, or to it. As a result of that, we are offering a personal healing to ourselves, and we're also offering a world service. Now, there's a small fee for this. We've set it for £22 a month. £22 a month. Yes, that's what it is. It's not a rolling membership. You just pay one off. There is a concession rate of £11.11. And if you would like to pay more, please do, because 50% of the proceeds will go to a grassroots cause. Now, at the moment, there's obviously a lot going on in Gaza and Israel, and we're looking at supporting efforts there. I'm very passionate about going more towards grassroots rather than bigger charities, just because often, you know, this is some well-meaning person that hasn't got all the admin in the middle, and it just needs to be receiving to then pass on. So that's the plan, and I'll be very transparent about it on the full moon on Sunday when I offer this particular world service. I'll be letting you know where the last amount that we managed to raise will be going to. Okay, so what can you do now? What is this all about? Because I woke up this morning feeling anxious. I could feel my heart was kind of vroom, vroom, vrooming, right? It was going into overdrive. And obviously solar flares play a part. Other things that are going on in the world play a part as well. But the key for us all at the moment is to remember that there'll be a purge going on to allow us to clear the density that's in the way of us moving closer towards what we desire, or allowing our dreams to move closer to us, to materialize. They don't just happen just like that. You don't just set an intention and suddenly it's happened, because there's a time lag for a reason. That's for you to align fully with what you say you really want rather than what you think you want, because as you go towards something, that's when you'll discover whether you really want it or not. Pause for breath. And typically, when we do go towards something we think we want, as we go towards it, we realize that's not really what we want, but you kind of had to go that direction to see what's around the corner. So we're always growing and evolving. The journey never really ends, but we can have so much more fun with it than we currently do. So one of the things that you'll really benefit from, and I've taken this from Tanaz's Forever Conscious page on the equinox, is to use the opportunity of the equinox to do some serious cleansing. Cleanse your energy field, cleanse your environment. I'd definitely say if you have a crystal grid around your house, good time now to put it out for the full moon, and then bring it back in after the full moon. So you're cleansing and clearing, and you're using the opportunity of the eclipse to help program your crystals to allow you to release that which is in the way, to let go, because the eclipses are about endings, but they're the endings of things that you don't need in your life anymore. So if you've been resisting letting something go, typically with the eclipse, you get that push to actually let it go. And it's like having stabilizers removed from your bike, and you kind of got someone behind you holding the seat, and before you know it, they're not there anymore because you don't need them, because actually you can ride your bike and you can stabilize. So in terms of what's going to really help you presently to make the most of these energies, so you can really see what is being revealed to you and not resist it, is to do the cleansing. So cleanse your energy field, cleanse your home, cleanse your crystals, spend time in nature, because nature is the reset. Nature is what allows you to come back to the frequency that connects you to your soul through your heart. It helps you to slow down the brain. Now, the brain and the mind are not the same thing, but the brain works on overdrive and gets overstimulated by everything around us because, you know, there's still a lot of pushing on pain points. Like the way that the kind of current mainstream world operates is still very much plugged into the fear matrix, even though it's been disabled. The grids come down is what I've seen and heard, and others will agree with that with me who've been doing the work with it. Essentially, we're still running these programs. So the way that people are controlled is through fear. And the irony is we know exactly how to overcome this. So why isn't that happening? Okay, we know how to. And again, you can watch the interview if you want to. So in your coming to nature, you will come to your intuition, you will come to your inner teacher and your inner sense. And when you ask a question of your inner teacher and your inner sense, you just put it into the field. How can I? You know, let's just say, for example, what is the best thing for me to release in my life right now? What is most going to help me to move forward? What goals do I have? You review your goals from the new year, right? Whether you set them solstice, whether you set them New Year's Day, whether you set them with the Chinese New Year, or even if you set them with we've got the new moon in Aries, which is basically, no, we've just moved into Aries. We've just moved into Aries astrologically, but the new moon won't be until the next new moon that we have in Aries, because we've just had one in Pisces. So that's almost like your next chance for a new year reset, right? So what are your goals? What did you set in motion? And you connect to those goals and say, okay, how can I help these most now to materialize? What is in the way? What can I let go of to allow myself to gracefully and easily align more fully with these intentions? And what are the habits that I know I've outgrown, I just need to let go of? What do I want to replace them with? Because if you're going to let something go, for it to really work, it has to be replaced with something else, right? So what are you excited to bring into your life? You can ask yourself these questions. What are you ready to release as a result of bringing this into your life? And it is about connecting to the frequency that you most want to resonate with. Like if you find that in you, then surely you just want to keep coming back to it, yeah? It's like, oh, that feels so good. All right, how can I help myself get that all the time? What gets me out of it and what puts me into it? And that's going to help you, again, asking the right questions by being in nature, being in the sun, letting the brain shut down by just playing and being present, not spending time thinking, then the answers will drop in. The more you cleanse and clear internally, also your environment, the more space there's going to be for grace. And I know for me, whenever I have struggled to let go of habits, it's because I've been scared of the space that is created. If I don't keep having that thing to go to because that's my familiar, first of all, what is it that it's stopping me from feeling? Right? You ask that question. What is it that it's giving me access to feeling? What is it stopping me feeling? What is it giving me access to feeling? And is there a better way for me to achieve this now? And when you allow yourself to start to create some space between, the reaching for something just to experience that again, and actually just allowing there to be some space, that's when grace can drop in. And grace is the power of revelation. It is the gifts freely given, right? It is the aha moment that allows you to let go easily of something. And once you see it, you just can't unsee it. To me, that is exactly what the equinox is about. Once you see something, you can no longer ignore it's there. You can no longer say you can't see it, and therefore it changes you. It very fundamentally changes you. Okay, so this is also a great time for us to pull some cards. I'm going to do that today. And your focus for us, certainly in the Northern Hemisphere now, is really what do we want to energize in our lives? If you're anything like me, you will discover that the things that you want the most are also the things that scare you the most. Why do they scare you? Well, they're outside of your comfort zone. You get to have to be a different version of yourself to have those things than the version of you that you are now. So the question is, what are you going to need to give up to embody that version of you that you want to be? Everything in the current energy is inviting us to explore that. Now, I wanted to read something to you because this came through as a download last night. With the next eclipse season, we've got Libra. And actually, I just need to make sure I've got this right. So we've got Libra, and then I believe it is Taurus. Let me just have a look at the image I took just a moment ago so I can gift you the insight. 1 second. This is the right phone, isn't it? All photos, right to the end here. Here we go. So we have the lunar eclipse in Libra, and then in April, we have a solar eclipse in Aries, okay? Now that's April the 8th, so that's the next new moon. Then we have in September, the lunar eclipse in Pisces, and in October, we have a solar eclipse in Libra. Now Libra, Venus, goddess of love frequency, the divine feminine, and with Aries in April, we're really dealing with the Martian energy, the divine masculine as the fearless warrior. So these are the energies we're going to be tapping into on Sunday when we connect our divine masculine and divine feminine as the fearless warrior and as the goddess of love. And then we're here to clear up the toxicity of the archetypes that have been running supreme through the age of Pisces. Okay, so that will be the emasculated masculine, the entitled feminine. I only learned about those yesterday, so thank you very much, Carrie, for sharing those with me. And also the martyr and the narcissist wound. Okay, so we've got a lot of powerful work to do on Sunday. That's what we're utilizing this energy to do now, to clear the patterns of narcissism and martyrdom from our own frequency, the receptor cells. And you might not think you are a narcissist or that you are a martyr. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that there may be tendencies in you. There's expectations to attract that kind of energy into you. Maybe you've got a blind spot around it because you grew up around it. We all have. The world is full of narcissists in the public eye and martyrs. Okay, so this is what we see. This is what we expect. So we're clearing those out the way. And therefore, we're shifting that idea of the emasculated masculine in the same way that you have that controlling masculine, which we're more used to as the patriarchy, right? So this is the shadow of that controlling masculine, is the emasculated. And in the same way that we have the victim feminine, as in the downtrodden feminine becomes the entitled feminine. These are both areas of shadow that we're going to be working with. Okay, so the thing about coming back into the September lunar eclipse in Pisces is it's a revisit. We've just had the new moon in Pisces, so then we get to do a real clean-up job with the full moon around all of that old Piscean energy of the old paradigm, because we're not here to self-sacrifice anymore. Okay, we're here to embody the frequency of leading by example. So through our own journey, we are then able to inspire others. And for me, I had a huge breakthrough recently, which was really, and this is a vulnerable share for me, right? Because it's about our outer and our inner personas, and where, you know, I say my work is helping people to overcome where they are creating from pain, from their pain body, and to actually tap into their highest octave by integrating their shadow and light so that they're coming from their highest self. Well, I got revealed to me where I was still coming from my pain body, and it was really hard to see. I hadn't seen it at all. It had to be pointed out by someone else, because you know what? That's exactly what happens. We can't see our own blind spots. So you don't want to go to everyone going, what can you see? What can you see? You've got to go to someone you really trust, okay, who you can see is doing well on their journey. and then ask them if you feel in resonance to help you. And usually I'd say go to a professional who knows what they're doing, who's a coach, yeah, who is a therapist. You know, again, recognizing the difference between the two, and that the kind of work that I do is about reprogramming the subconscious and aligning the conscious will with the superconscious, the higher self, which is really put your soul in control. So those who are attracted to what I do are essentially wanting to live as their divine human self, heart-centered, soul-activated pioneers of the new earth paradigm. That sounds like you. Please drop me a DM, drop me a comment, let me know, and let's have a conversation, because I have not only a fabulous program called Fearless, Loved Up and Limitless, and I just signed someone up that I did their induction call today, and it's like someone I've known for a long time, and just to get into that deeper relationship with them and assure them that I'm here to give them what they give to others. I'm here to help them experience what they give to others, because most of us who are givers are really good at giving, not so good at taking. And there are very few people we feel we can trust with our own vulnerability, right? So this is the gift. You like my energy, you feel my energy. I'm here to hold a space for you that you can soften into. You can allow the transparency, allow that which needs to be revealed, and then come back together in a way more integrated way. Now that I offer one-to-one and through group program with Fearless, Loved Up and Limitless. And again, you can just book a desire mapping call and we can have a conversation about it. I'll put the link in the text box after. And some of you, those of you who are the luminaries, the way showers, the visionaries of the new earth paradigm, are going to want to join me for the Lionsgate Nurture Container. The Lionsgate portal is a peace portal, my friends. This got downloaded very recently. So I'm going to be hosting a 3-month container for those of you who really want to receive what you give to the world, right? And are ready to allow yourselves to hear the deeper voice of your highest self to help you have the most impact in this world with your messaging. So this is the creatives, the influencers, the leaders, like this is calling you. Again, drop me a message and I'll let you know, because we're going to be doing an in-person 3-night retreat in North Wales at Charlotte Church's phenomenal retreat space, The Dreaming, on the 7th, 8th and 9th of August. And I'm also going to be offering a global meditation for everybody who would like to participate on the 8th of the 8th. I'm going to pre-record it and get it to you. And it's going to be a beautiful activation of the Star Peace Manifesto for everybody who wants to resonate the frequency of peace. And I'm calling 9,000 of you. I'm just going to declare now to everybody that it is my intention to create a global viral movement with Star Peace. I want to see Star Peace become more prevalent in people's consciousness than Star Wars. I love Star Wars, by the way, nothing wrong with it. It brought us to this point, but we needed the duality to create the unity. Now we're ready for unity, and that's what Star Peace is. So I'm declaring this. Anyone who wants to help me, anyone who's feeling this, it requires energizers, builders, and architects. It requires those of you who see the vision and are willing to help to create it with me. Step forward, let me know. Let's do this, okay? So finally, before I actually just share with you the reading for today, let's just have a look at what else is coming up. So, feminine. So there's a whole element coming up with the feminine now, showing up consistently in a boundaried way. All right. And in fact, I'm going to save this for Sunday, but it's basically how we help the masculine to heal. Okay. How we help the masculine to heal from the wounds that were inflicted on the feminine and the masculine by the masculine, right? Without it being fully conscious as to why. Okay. So, you know, cruelty is an interesting thing. Why do we get cruel? Why do we hurt others? Why do we create this? Why are we motivated by hatred in such a way? Whether it's, you know, religious hatred, a cultural hatred, a societal hatred, that build up, where does that really come from, that wounding? And are we ready to let it go and stop inflicting it on others? So you join me on Sunday, I'll go a lot more into this, but we're basically overcoming the narcissistic and martyrdom wounding, and I'll share with you how on Sunday. So for all of us to move beyond survival programming, we're moving beyond feast and famine, okay? Now, here's what came through last night for me. In our genetic memory, right, we have come from a time when we were cavemen, when we were nomadic wanderers, and we actually needed to feast or famine. So there were times when there was food and there were times when there wasn't. Now, this is a part of our history, but one thing that came through very, very strongly last night was, yeah, that's just a part. And did we all come from that? No, we didn't, because if we go way back before, and I have come to learn that I am an original code keeper of the blueprint of this planet. So I'm one of the code keepers of the original blueprint of this planet, which was Paradise Earth. Okay. Some of you will recognize yourself as Paradise Earth code keepers, and you're the ones that want to come on that retreat. You also want to do Fearless or the one-to-one work with it. Okay, this is what it's been created for. All right. So basically, there was a time when this planet was created to be a living library for the whole of this universe, and different extraterrestrial frequencies came to this earth, if you like, right, to allow, so it's different star families is what I'm kind of sensing. Now, some needed to use it as a home, but also there was just this intergalactic reading playground, if you like. So maybe we can look at it in terms of the different ways we look different continents, we have different physical looks. And yes, part of it is adapting to our environment, but it's also perhaps where we originated from beyond this planet. And again, some of the things I'm saying going to sound a little out there, and that's okay. Take the best, leave the rest. But what I'm pointing to is that the stories around the feast or famine is just part of the story in our genetic memory. We can go further back. It's like a wall, a firewall. You go further back and you start to discover all sorts of other things, which is when we were coded to thrive, not survive. Now, when did that all stop? The Atlantean era is really what we hear about, but there's been these cycles of destruction, if you like, mainly because humanity has just got out of balance and it's needed to wipe away and start again. So again, you will know if this is resonating for you. And I'm just going to pull my cards now to finish this off. Apologies for having to reach round here. If you have any comments on what I'm saying, please let me know. I'm just going to pull a few little cards now, and then we are going to call this a day. But I would love to know how you're resonating with what I'm saying. Let me just see. I've got any comments here. Hey, Anne. Hello, Natalie. Hello, Kate. Hello, everybody. Thanks for the star piece. Let's have some more star pieces, please. I want more star pieces. I am commanding. I am inviting lots of star piece. Yes. Right, so our equinox spread, let's see what it's saying for us. What have we got in store here for the next 3 months? What is the most beneficial way for us to align with what we set as intention? And these are Leslie Sloan's Oracle cards. I love them. I adore them. I use them all the way. I love Leslie. So Leslie, if you see this, big love to you. And yeah, basically these cards help me to tap into my potential. Right, first one. This is healing the mother wound. Been quite popular subject for me recently, and actually more and more keeps coming up around this, right? This is the toxicity that's passed through the bloodlines and our waters, which has been perpetuated through our time in the womb, through picking up the programs that we inherited. Bear in mind, this is not your mum's fault. It's no one's fault, okay? This is just what has happened, and it's time for us to clear it. So that is the first thing. That is what we are being, the heart of the matter, if you like, is what we're doing now as we come towards the solstice. We're going to be bringing to light everything that is, if you like, toxic within us, everything that isn't serving, all the coping mechanisms that have been adopted by us as a way to avoid feeling the pain that we didn't know how to deal with at the time that we experienced it, because no one taught us how to move through pain. And, you know, I said suffering is largely avoidable. When we learn to manage pain, to move through pain, and I don't mean to suppress pain with painkillers, I mean to move through it, to bring it up and out and overcome it, okay? So we all have our ways of liking to numb out, if we like, but there is a difference between seeking to suppress something, which is why you might, you know, go towards having a drink or having a smoke or eating or whatever, to actually, I'm good. I just would like to have a glass of wine tonight, or I would just like to do this, or I would just like to do that. There is a big difference between the motivation, all right? And I have noticed for me that any addictive tendencies I have tend to show themselves when I'm moving towards a leap in the direction that I would like to take. And you have to leap. It doesn't just happen in small steps. You take your little steps to the edge, and then there's a leap. So just before you take that leap, we tend to go, oh God, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. Oh, I don't want to feel this. And yeah, it's learning to move through that and the tools required, which is what I do teach on my courses, and I do actually practice what I preach. So the heart of the matter is there. The block is having a new conversation. Look at that. You got the feminine and the masculine facing away from each other. There's this opportunity to move into a higher frequency. And they just need to be willing to have the conversation. So see this as your inner feminine and inner masculine ready for their upgrade, but they're just so used to being the way they are around each other. They've got these habits that they're just used to, and some of them are nice, and you know, they don't really want to rock the boat. It's like, but things are okay here, aren't they? And it's like, yeah, but they could be even better. What would be better than this? And that's what we want to look at, because in order for us to clear this, we need to give these two an upgrade. Okay, now this will reflect in your relationship with your beloved. If you have got a partner in your life, it will also reflect in the type of person you attract, raising the bar, lowering your tolerance level for BS, belief system, propaganda, belief system limitations. And you know, as you do the inner work, you'll see it reflected in your outer work. And it is very much about how we show up consistently in the new frequency to allow those around us to meet us in that new frequency. The here and now, with this equinox, the key gift and tool we're being encouraged to utilize is to step beyond the despair, to connect to the light. That despairing is that old fear matrix I mentioned. We're so used to doom and gloom, expecting trouble, expecting things to go wrong. We're constantly watching our back. Well, that is the fear paradigm, and it's in us to be cleared. So bring light to the shadow. That's what we're doing now. Where are we stuck in that old program? Where do we want to release it? And if you think you can do it all on your own, this is when Rosie does eye rolling. And I don't mean to sound like I don't care, because I do, but all of us who feel separate from God, from the divine, from source, will seek to do things on our own, because we cannot trust the divine, because our early experiences with mum and dad, whoever else brought us up, taught us that it's not safe to trust them. They don't know how to meet our needs. So we took it upon ourselves to meet our own needs. Therefore, we don't trust anyone. We don't let anyone know the deeper inner workings of us. We try and work it all out ourselves, whether that's about economizing, whether that's about just not sharing, not being vulnerable. That's got to be cracked open. Okay, and you just can't see your own blind spots. Ask Bruce, he'll tell you. All of us do it. We're blind to how we're like mum, how we're like dad, until we're really willing to see it and allow it to be revealed to us. Final card, and this is the resolve and the infinite possibilities, where we go to as we embrace having that higher dialogue and shedding the light even on the despair and the shadow. Where we get to is the rejuvenation of the masculine, from wounded to resolved. This is the inner magic man on the magenta lotus, shining this gold light. Now, interestingly, my galactic consciousness as Rozyglow, even though I'm pink as Rozyglow, is gold. It's shiny, golden, sparkly yellow. That's what this galaxy looks like. That is the Rozyglow frequency, the frequency of divine grace. So, you know, we have masculine and feminine on this planet as a way of kind of understanding more passive and active energies. We're the ones who determine what's good and what's bad. But actually, wouldn't it be amazing if you felt you could really trust in the masculine, that the wounded masculine wasn't running the world? Neither was the wounded feminine. Wouldn't that be nice? Well, that's the star piece, baby. It's the formation of it. Top of the deck, we're overcoming the programming. Bottom of the deck, we're moving into this beautiful space of allowing a new inner dialogue so that the masculine and the feminine work together. See here, I don't know if you can see it, but there's an older and a younger masculine holding the golden disc, which I see as the earth chakra, that is then allowing the divine feminine to be fully in her power. It's the foundation that allows this feminine to feel supported, to shine the frequency that is the love and the light that allows us to stop creating this, the toxic soup that passes from one gen to the other. Okay, it's not a woman only thing, it's not a man only thing, it's a totally combined thing. So that's where it is, my friends. So just a little recap. If you would like to join us on Sunday, it'll be 8 p.m. GMT. So that is, I believe, I'm just wondering when the clocks are changing. It's going to be 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern time. So just check it out. And it'll be 3 hours earlier, I think, Pacific time. So please check those times out. I don't know them by rote presently. And As I said, it's £22 or more if you want to. If you are in financial challenge or you are a yoga member of my yoga community, then it's £11.11. And Rise members get it free. Okay, so those who are graduates from my program, so get it for free. I also am inviting you to a desire mapping call for those of you who would like to inquire more about how you can clear your subconscious and align it with your higher consciousness. Remember, the people that come to me either have been working on themselves and doing great work in the world for quite a while. They're coaches, therapists, healers, psychotherapists. Like when I say builders, it's those who are helping to create a new world by undoing the damage of the old world. Okay, so these are typically my group coaching clients that will come and work with me. They've already done loads of work on their own. They've got to the point that they just need some support with the things they cannot see. Okay, and this is the mother. The whole of the program is a motherboard upgrade from toxic. It's from this to this. That's what we do. Okay, and the results are phenomenal because they're about attracting sacred union into your life, being a vibrational match, increasing your wealth, getting much healthier because you're no longer in the stress pattern that's constantly creating the illness and dis-ease and disharmony in your life, and also the clarity of purpose and activation of the superpowers that you haven't yet fully claimed. That's all there as part of what we do. And obviously the one-to-one offerings for those of you who would like that kind of service. Again, it's the same process I take you through, slightly differently, but it's all about utilizing the co-creation steps, the 6 co-creation steps that are one of the star maps that have been brought through me to share with the world, and the upcoming book, the Star Peace Star Maps. And I've also invited you to the Lionsgate Peace Portal Nurture Container and 3-night transformational luxury retreat. So either way, you can book a design mapping call. We can have a chat about it. Just let me know what you're interested in, and let's see you on Sunday. I'm so excited for this time. We've been waiting for a long time for this time. The winter is over in the Northern Hemisphere, so let us, what do they say? Let us go out and play and make hay. You're amazing. I love you. Thank you so much for showing up today. And thank you again for subscribing. Thank you for joining the Facebook community. If you haven't yet, thank you for heading over to Rozyglow. And do check out Bruce Lipton's very phenomenal interview with me, which to me, I called it the science of co-creating peace on earth, but we're probably going to need to call it something else, because you know what? The algorithms just don't pick up on peace. You'd almost think that people don't want peace, or certain people don't want peace. But you know what? Is that going to stop me? I don't think so. I love you. You're amazing. Take care. Remember, you're a miracle. You're phenomenal. I've just said that. Actually, that was what came through one of my clients today, is that she was told she is a miracle, and we are all miracles. So claim that miracle magic and let's step forward into our highest path. We all deserve it. Take care for now, beautiful ones. Loads and loads of love.